Ladies and gentlemen, the new managerial talk is heating up. Is it going to be Hansi Flick? Is it going to be Zinedine Zidane? Is it going to be Luis Enrique? Is it going to be Pochettino? All these names are being thrown around. Let's see what happens in the upcoming two matches. Owners still want to keep backing Graham Potter, but I just get the feeling that the players will they'll do the needful this weekend. I have a feeling they'll do the needful.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the latest in Chelsea news. We've got 4 bits of news today. Obviously, we want to talk about Luis Enrique a little bit, not in greater depth, because if you want to catch that, that's the last live stream that we just did. Catch that. I think goes for approximately 40 minutes, and it was an interesting discussion that we had in the live stream, so check that out. And we're going to talk about Mason Mount, some news on Mason Mount again floating around, and this time it seems like a lot of people are somewhat convinced that he's probably going to move on and leave Chelsea and join Liverpool. We've got news on Andrey Santos going back to Brazil, so we'll touch up on that. And finally, some stadium redevelopment news as well. But first of all, let's talk about Luis Enrique. Ladies and gentlemen, there's quite a lot of people that are very excited about this situation. Obviously, the news that's been floating around in the last 24 hours is that Luis Enrique is ready to get back into work. He's looking for a job, and he wants to just get back into working again. So he's 100% available. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. And for me, when I saw this particular news, because you can only go by what is being said and what are the rumors out there. Look, I wouldn't mind Hansi Flick. A lot of people would want Flick, and Flick in recent times has been seen in some of the Chelsea matches, whether he was watching Havertz or whether he was just having a look at the team. I don't know. But right now, there is no rumors or any news articles stating that he's leaving the Germany post. Right now, he's quite happy, it seems like, to be in Germany, unless and until we actually start seeing that, look, he's looking to leave Germany post. Then I don't think it's viable to think that he could potentially be a Chelsea manager, because I think the next Euros is in Germany, so he might well want to still be the Germany coach for Euros next up. So that's a little bit about Hansi Flick. In regards to Pochettino, look, I just get the feeling that he's a good manager in terms of developing youngsters, but I just get this feeling that he's got that bottle job gene in him. Like, we need a manager that knows how to win, man. We need a manager that has won stuff, that has smelled blood and absolutely attacked it. And this is why I'm going for someone like Luis Enrique, because he's won it all with Barcelona. 2 La Ligas, 3 Copa del Rey in 3 seasons that he was part of. Club World Cup, the last Champions League that Barcelona won was with Luis Enrique. He knows. A lot of people complain that, look, Luis Enrique is only as good as MSN, Messi, Neymar, Suarez. Look, the way I look at this situation is that you're as good as your team is. Like, look at Ancelotti when he was in Everton. I mean, was he any good? But Ancelotti is not going to be remembered for Everton. He's going to be remembered for AC Milan. He's going to be remembered for Real Madrid. No one's even going to bat an eyelid in regards to Everton. People talk about, Luis Enrique's time in Roma or Celta Vigo. I mean, throw Pep Guardiola in that Roma team or Pep Guardiola in that Celta Vigo team. Pep wouldn't even do those jobs. So we can't sit here and judge a particular manager based on those 10 years. But you definitely have to look at the situation when he was at Barcelona for 3 seasons, where he absolutely destroyed it. And it takes some level of a manager to manage egos like that. That team had Neymar, Messi, Suarez, Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi. Xavi and Xavi specifically were on the latter part of their career. But Neymar, Suarez, Messi, they were a lot younger. Neymar definitely was a lot younger. So managing those egos would not have been easy. Dani Alves as well, Jordi Alba, young Jordi Alba at that stage. So that takes some level of man management, especially on threes. You can't just close your eyes and just go, do you know what, just do whatever you want. No, it doesn't work like that. It needs an elite level of manager to still get the best out of that team. Yes, the talent is there, but someone still needs to be there to harness that talent and guide that talent for 3 seasons. Don't forget, have the capacity to motivate. It's a huge factor. We just brush it off too easily, saying that he had Messi, Neymar, and Suarez doing everything. I don't think it's easy as that. I do not think for a second it's as easy as that. Because if that's the case, well then, do you know what I mean? These players, wherever they go, they could just be managerless. It does not work like that. Look, at the end of the day, that's one part. Being able to manage the egos and being able to motivate that group of players for a nice amount of, for 3 seasons, which is a decent amount of period. And on top of that, tactically as well, they played some scintillating football, man. Luis Enrique, 4-3-3, he wanted to play a lot more direct and not waste too much time building up. He would send the ball out to the wingers a lot quicker. And his fullbacks, combined with the wingers to stretch out the field a lot more. His midfield was full of technicians, of course. And off the ball, they were brilliant. They pressed high up and they won the ball high up and they suffocate the opposition. And not just the Barcelona. People always talk about what Luis Enrique did in the last World Cup, but what about what he did in the Euros that was before the World Cup? That Spanish team did not deserve to be in the semi-finals, but the way they pressed that Spanish team was insane. So look, this guy, he knows how to play good football. All right, I've even watched him when I was younger, early 2000s. Watched this particular player as a striker for Barcelona. He was a top-notch striker. Comes from the school of Barcelona. Understands structure, understands philosophy. People talk about that was a super team in Barcelona that he was managing. Well, it's a super team in Chelsea that we have right now. So we need a super coach. I think this particular team, when you look at some of the characteristics, fast wingers that are able to go 1v1, Mudryk, Sterling, Madueke, not off the level of Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, but still the characteristics of that, that pacey winger is there. I think someone like Luis Enrique can do the job. Reece James, Chilwell, great fullbacks that Luis Enrique will absolutely ball out with. In midfield, Enzo Fernandez. Maybe we do need another sort of sitting midfielder for the time being. Maybe we can still use Zakaria, but down the track, someone like even Zubimendi really, really excites me. I think Enrique, if he was to get Zubimendi along with Enzo Fernandez and Kovacic, I think that could be an exciting midfield, and we already have a very, very good defense. So, look, that's my thoughts on Luis Enrique. I know there's people out there that have doubts on Luis Enrique, but a lot of the doubts is based on just recency bias in the World Cup. But then they tend to, disregard the Euros. And a lot of people are backing Hansi Flick. Well, what did Hansi Flick do in the World Cup as well with Germany? So, you can't just judge a particular manager based on what they did in international levels. You got to understand that these managers, when they get the opportunity to train with the team week in, week out, it's a different story. So, look, that's my little bits and pieces in regards to in regards to Luis Enrique. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to know, especially in regards to Luis Enrique. We'll do another video in covering all the different options. But let me know what your thoughts are in regards to Luis Enrique. Would you be happy to take him as a manager of Chelsea Football Club? I certainly would be. And the reason I'm saying that is because it seems viable at the moment. He's not someone that you're going to have to go out there and break the contract. Much like with Hansi Flick, that's what you're going to have to do. So it makes it a lot more viable. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Liverpool are increasingly confident of signing Mason Mount. Some sources close to Mount have even described a move to Anfield as highly likely. This is coming from Alex Crook, whoever this guy is. Let me just have a quick look at this. Alex Crook, Talk Sport. Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, I get the feeling he's probably going to move on. I really do. I've said this many times on my channel. I honestly think he's going to move on. The level of money, the level of, the contract length that he's looking for. I don't think we're going to give him the type of money that he's wanting or that he's desiring, whatever it is. Look, whether it's 200K, 250K, 300K, I don't really know. But I get the feeling maybe our owners are looking to maybe double his income, maybe just a tad over double. So if he's on 75, we're looking at about 150, maybe go as high as maybe 170. But perhaps Mason Mount's looking for more, and rightly so. I mean, he's got a genuine argument towards it. He's been the player of the season for Chelsea for the last couple of seasons. Rightly or wrongly, last season, at the end of the day, it is in his CV, right? And on top of that, our owners looking to sell some of the homegrown players because they're direct profits to our book, and we do need to level our books up with the kind of damage that we did in the last couple of windows, bringing in so many players. We do need to start selling some, and he could be one that we look to sell, and potentially we'll get quite a decent amount of money. There's strong rumors of him going to Liverpool. Liverpool fans seem to be very excited about him. They fancy him, and he might fit that Klopp mode in midfield, where he wants runners, where he wants energy, where he wants a workhorse. Do you know what I mean? And that could just potentially work out for Mason Mount. So look, ladies and gentlemen, will I be a little bit sad? Of course, I wish it did work out for Mason Mount, but I feel like I don't think he's going to be a starter anymore, even if he did stay at Chelsea. And that's another factor. Can he stay at Chelsea being a squad player? Can he be a squaddy? I don't think he's going to appreciate that. So from that standpoint as well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, this particular situation is not going to end well for Mason Mount. Once again, let me know how you would feel if Mason Mount goes. Would you be upset? Would you be happy? Would you don't have any opinion on it? Let me know. Next up, from Fabrizio Romano, official confirmed. Chelsea announced that Andrey Santos joins Vasco da Gama on loan until July. He will be back at the end of the season. Andrey is already in Brazil, where he had medical tests. Chelsea will cover salary until June. Look, at the end of the day, we could not get his paperwork sorted out. Apparently, there's just not enough points to get him that work permit. However, after he goes and does this particular loan, we should be able to get all of that done and dusted, and he should be a Chelsea player fully fledged from next season. Age, I think, has a bit of a factor. He's maybe, I don't know the exact ins and outs of the immigration policy, but apparently he missed out on the points situation. Look, I was looking forward for him to be part of the Chelsea team for the remainder of the season. I think it would have been quite sensational to see him play alongside Enzo Fernandez, not on a regular basis, but at least get some minutes. But similar at the same time, look, I'm not completely peeved off about this. Look, he goes back to Vasco da Gama. Hopefully he plays. I'm pretty sure he'll get the starting, regular minutes over there, and hopefully he continues on his good form from Brazil, under 20s, the South American Championship, where he absolutely balled out. I'm going to be keen I want to see if I'm able to catch some of these Vasco da Gama matches, which is in the Brazilian league. Let me know in the comments, please, where I can catch some of these games, what channel, where do they show these? I would love to watch some of these, and maybe even do a watch along. Who knows? I think it'll be interesting to keep a tab on Andrey Santos. He's definitely one for the future. There's no doubt about that. Next up, and last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the Stamford Bridge redevelopment. Knocking down Stamford Bridge and building a new stadium on the current site is emerging as the most likely option. Look, kind of makes sense. I mean, can you perhaps knock it down and make it a 60,000, 65,000 capacity? I think that's the bare minimum. If you want to be when you're an elite club, you need a lot more capacity. 60,000 I feel like is bare minimum, but I'm not really sure whether they're going to be able to achieve 60,000. But going to a new location may not be that feasible. Everyone wants to stick around at Stamford Bridge. And also, don't forget, there's that slight complication with Chelsea pitch owners as well. So I don't think you can just leave to a new stadium or to a new location. You'd have to do something here and see what can transpire. And this is why they're looking to break down the current stadium and look to rebuild. I think the plan is that they want to have this stadium built, done and dusted by 2030 season. So there's a long way to go, man. There is a long way to go. Obviously, it will take apparently a year to pass all the project plans with the councils and whatnot, and then eventually start the redevelopment. And that process could take a little bit of time. And by the time this is absolutely developed, They're looking to target that 2030, so we're a long way away until then. I think that is the situation. Buying the 1.2-acre site would be a huge boost to any plans to build on the existing site, as it would provide Chelsea with increased space for fan parks and offices, leaving enough room for a new state-of-the-art stadium that could hold at least 55,000. So there you go, 50. At the moment, it holds 40,000, which is not good enough for an elite club like Chelsea. You need a much bigger capacity. People across the world come to watch Chelsea, so you do need a lot more capacity. And I'm sure some of the local fans as well, match-going fans as well, would like the capacity to increase. This is from Matt Law. Look, 55,000. I personally don't think that's good enough. You need to have at least 60,000. But they're looking to buy that space next to Stamford Bridge, which is this, ladies and gentlemen. Stamford Bridge is here, and that space. Once you get that, maybe you can move a lot of the stuff that's inside Stamford Bridge to here. Some of those administrative offices and fan parks and whatnot that was, mentioned in the previous tweet. So look, let's see what happens. For those that have asked, below is a picture of the extra land of to Stamford Bridge that Chelsea is trying to purchase. So there you go. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the stadium redevelopment is an exciting situation. We've come to an end of Chelsea news segment for today. Let me know all the bits and pieces of news that we've gone through. Let me know how you feel about that, especially Luis Enrique. It's a huge bit of news that's going on. I feel like, look, we need to move on from Graham Potter, regardless if he even wins the next two. I think we need to move on. I personally don't think we're going to win the next two. In fact, I don't even think we're going to win against Leeds. And I think that will be the final nail on the coffin for Graham Potter. I just get the feeling that players, they know that this manager is a dead man walking, and one more loss and they'll be lights out. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go out there and down tools. I won't be surprised. I've seen this picture many times before. So comment below and let me know your thoughts on Luis Enrique, Mason Mount, Andrey Santos. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys with a whole heap of content coming your way. We're going to do several videos, obviously going through all the managers that's been thrown around, who would suit with the current players that we have. I want to obviously do why Graham Potter hasn't worked out at Chelsea Football Club and why the owners are holding on to him. So these couple of videos, look out, it's going to come your way. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.